Hello and welcome back to another episode of IsleDemon. In this episode, we're going to go in depth about the different Java data types. So data types in Java are pretty much types of values that are already configured in the Java programming language. They can be of integer type, of double type, of character type, or Boolean type. Pretty much an integer is a single precision number. It's just like any integer from math class. And the keyword is int when you're using it in Java. It can also be used in other data types such as byte, short, and long. Byte is the smallest integer value, so it can hold the smallest integer value, and long can store the longest integer value. So going from the smallest number of integers to the greatest number of integers, byte, short, int, and long. So that's going from a difference of a maximum of 100 to like a million or billion. A double is a double precision number. It is used to hold double precision values, so decimal values. Integers cannot hold decimal values. When you use a double, you want to make sure that there are at least decimals, because there's really no point if there aren't any. But you can still use integer values for doubles because integers are doubles. And you can also use float. This should also be italicized because it is a data type by itself, but usually I just go with double because that's the one most people use. And another one that you have is called character. The keyword is char, and it represents a character, and it must be in single quotes. So some examples include the at symbol, single lowercase and uppercase letters such as A, or you can also say capital A. And then the last one is called a Boolean. A Boolean should not be capital, actually. It should be underscored. And a Boolean represents a true or false value, and it can be one of two values, true or false. And we'll go more in depth about that soon. Alright, so we're back in the Java IDE, and right now what we want to do is go back to our package source output from our Hello World project, and we want to make a new class, and let's call it data types. It is Java convention to start the class again with uppercase letter, and for each consecutive word you want to start with a capital letter. So data, first letter is capitalized, types, T is capitalized, and that is called camel case. So we have public class data types, and what we want to do is make our main method again, static void main string args. Once we've made that, we can start using the console and printing out statements. So we just went over the different data types, so let's review them again. We had int, we had a double, we had a character, and we had a boolean. Integer, int is for integer values, double is for decimal values, character is for single characters, and a boolean is for true or false. So if you want to ever make a comment in Java, I guess this is a good time to say it. You can use the double slashes, and comments are not compiled, and they're pretty much as if nothing was written. And it's just used for programmers to know what they did and what was the purpose of what they were doing. So you can either do the double slashes, or you can do this. You can use a slash, asterisk, and then type what you want here, and then asterisks and a slash again. Okay, so let's get into it. So if we want to make an integer data type, we say integer name equals a value. So let's say we want this value to be 4. So as you can see, we had my data type first, then we had the integer's name, and then we put the equal sign and a value. I mean, this could be anything else. I could have said int what to do, and it would still have worked, or I could have said int beats, and it would still have worked. But for the sake of this tutorial, let's keep it at integer name, and let's make it double, and let's call it double name, keeping convention, and we'll make this a 3.8. Don't worry about the warning signs right here. That means just the value was not used yet, but we'll be using that soon. Let's make another integer called integer name 2, and let's make that an 8. Let's make another double and call that double name 2. And let's set that to 8.4. So as you can see, we have our integers right here, and then we have our double values here. So let's try to do some simple arithmetic here. So let's say we want to make a new integer, int sum equals integer name plus integer name 2. So what that basically does, it adds integer name and integer name 2. And that should give us a result of 12. But just so we can check, write sysout or system.out.println and write sum. What that will do is send the value sum to the console to be printed out to the user. So when we run the program, what will happen is we should see 12 written in the console, and we have it right here. So that's a good thing. So let's make a sysout here again, just to keep a little space right here for our next output. And let's multiply our double values. So let's make it a double product equals double name asterisks double name 2. And what that will do is multiply double name and double name 2. Now, I'm not a calculator, so I don't know what 3.8 times 8.4 is, but if we print this out, it should tell us. So go ahead and write your print line statement and put product, because that is what we want to be printed out. And once we run it, we should get some weird value like this. So 3 times 8 is about 24, so 4 times 8 is about 32, so we're pretty close. That is our double value, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go now to the character. Let's make a character name equals A. And let's make another character name 2. And make that B. So we have these two characters and we just want to print them out. So we say system.out.println character name plus double quotes, and this is just to make a space in between, and then character name 2. And that will print out A, B. Make sure you have your plus signs so you can add more statements to the arguments here. And when we run it, we should get A space B. And there we go, A and B. So say I made a character and called this character fail, and we said this was AB. We would get a problem because we cannot have more than one character in here. If I had something called @ it would still work. Alright, now let's make a print line statement so we can have a space. And let's talk about the last data type, Boolean. Let's call this Boolean name equals true. And then Boolean name is true, and let's make the Boolean name 2 to be false. Now if we print them out, Boolean name should write true to the console. And there we go, it says true. But what if we put Boolean name 2 here? What should happen? We get false. Alright, so that is pretty much it for today. Please like or subscribe this video, or both. And please come back for the next episode. We'll be talking about strings.